Isaiah chapter 66, verses 1 to 2, from the Message. I made all this. I own all this. But there is something I'm looking for. There was going to be a wedding, and Marion had been asked if she would decorate the church. It was going to be the second marriage of both the bride and the groom, so it was just going to be a small, intimate affair. The only instructions given were for the flowers to be white and red, a table to be set up for the signing of the marriage certificate, white bows to be placed on the ends of the first 4 pews, and the bridal bouquet to be made. This was to be given to the bride at the church. The ceremony would take place at 5 o'clock on the evening of Wednesday the 24th. So Marion promptly noted on her calendar Thursday the 25th. That mistake set up a great occasion for disaster. And disaster most certainly wouldn't have taken place if God, in his immense mercy, love and pity for the human race, had not reached down and intervened. Blissfully unaware of her blunder, Marion planned to do all she needed to do at the church on Tuesday and Wednesday. She would make the bridal bouquet at her leisure on Thursday and have it at the church for the bride when she arrived at 5 o'clock. On Tuesday, Marion worked many hours creating the floral arrangements. It was late as she was leaving the church, and she was looking forward to getting home to sleep. Tomorrow, Wednesday, she would be at the church at 5 o'clock, 2 hours before prayer meeting, to place the bows on the pews, make any necessary adjustments to the flowers, and set up the certificate signing table. But this Tuesday night, as she turned the doorknob to go out, her hand seemed to freeze, and she was powerfully impressed to set up the signing of the certificate table before she left. Trembling and unquestioning, she completed this heavenly task. As she left the church much later that night, she took one last look at her work. She looked at the pillars draped with white chiffon, the cascading flowers, and the table with its white lace cloth, the 2 beautiful candlesticks with candles, and the pen with its fabulous white ostrich feather standing boldly in its holder. Everything looked so beautiful. This needs to be said because in less than 24 hours she was going to feel that she had ruined this wedding. Wednesday evening, she arrived at the church at 5 o'clock, as planned, and was puzzled by so many cars in the car park. To her dismay, she realized her mistake. All the guests were seated in the church, waiting for the bride, who was late. Marion was devastated. There were no bows on the pews, and, most importantly, there was no bouquet for the bride. Half an hour went by as Marion paced back and forth in the car park, feeling responsible for this precious couple's wedding day being ruined. She felt she just hadn't done enough. Then, a voice that she recognized said, "You have done plenty. Just go to the florist, quickly, and get flowers for the bride." And a conversation had begun. Marion, "But Lord, it's too late. The bride will be here soon. She's 30 minutes late already." The Lord, "Just go and get the flowers." Marion, But Lord, it's 5:30. The florist will have closed at 5 o'clock. The Lord, just go and get the flowers. Marion, all right, Lord. The florist just up the street was still open. Upon hearing of the situation, the florist quickly put together an elegant spray of red roses. Marion raced back to the church. It was now 6 o'clock. Raced up the church steps, stepped inside, and turned around to see the bride about to ascend those same steps. Without missing a beat, the bride accepted her bouquet and walked down the aisle to her beloved. Marion noticed that someone had lit the 2 candles. Marion had planned a very modern bouquet. If everything had gone according to her plan, but the Lord knew that that would have been very unsuitable. He knew the bride would be wearing a beautiful Indian sari, and the red roses were just perfect for that. Along with the wedding guests, many spectators came, and they were all spread out all over the church, and the white bows on the first 4 pews would have looked ridiculous, and God knew that too. Isaiah chapter 66, verses 1 and 2. Heaven's my throne, earth is my footstool. I made all this, I own all this, God's decree. But there is something I'm looking for, a person simple and plain, reverently responsive to what I say.